I mean, what do I look like? I'm a safety. I'm a safety. Yes, I'm a safety. Well, I was informed that since I was listed as a linebacker in college, that I had to only work out with the linebackers. So they was just gonna make me only do linebacker stuff. So I asked if I could just, if it was somehow, some way I can do the DB work, because that's what I was doing all, off season and leading up to the combine. And I told my agents that, and they made it happen. They said the only way I can do it is if I do both. And I was like, that's easy, that's no problem at all.
So are you just going to do extra DB drills tomorrow, or are you doing the DB stuff on Monday?
I'm doing the DB stuff with the DBs on Monday.
Why do you think it is the last decade or two, there hasn't been a lot of safeties back in those top five? The Hall of Fame, there are only a couple of safeties. Why is that position so overlooked?
I couldn't hear the last part of that question.
Is that position, is it overlooked a little bit?
Um, I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm just gonna do what I have to do, in order to help whatever team decides to pick me up to the best of my ability.
Is there something about the way the game is played today that makes your safety extra valuable?
I believe so, more so now. Back in the day, it was definitely more running. Now, you have tremendous athletes, out there on the islands and inside in the slots. So I definitely think a good safety can be definitely valuable. Yes, I trained at Exos in San Diego. Worked with Matt Clark, the DB coach. Roy Holmes and Brent Calloway. They did a fantastic job getting all of us ready for this combine. We're all ready to go. Basically, they asked me where do I see myself playing. If they were to draft me, where would they put me? What are my strong suits? What are my weaknesses? Just things like that. I tell them my natural position is definitely in the defensive backfield. I had to fill a void this year, because it was best for the team. If I had to do it all over again, I would. I didn't think it'd hurt me. My mindset was whatever I had to do, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability and, try to make plays when I can. And, I think that's what I did, and, that's what I'm going to continue to do. Not really. Everyone's going to have an opinion. The only opinions I care about is the guys that's doing the drafting. And, these analysts or whatever you guys call them can feel how they feel and do whatever they want to do. I know what kind of player I am, and, these scouts know as well. So, there's no skin off my teeth. It was great. He definitely did a great job of preparing us. We couldn't have asked for anyone better to fill the void when Coach Hoke left. He was hard on us. He made it business-like and, what we can expect at the next level. And, I'm more than grateful for that. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Oh yes, all of them. And even though they told me it's still, it was still a very strenuous process. With all the medical examinations and psychological testing. But you're lucky to be here. They only invite 300 some guys, and if you're one of those guys invited, you just go through the due processing and try to enjoy it and have fun with the guys around you, and that's what I'm doing. I'm sorry. All those guys, gave advice that, I can definitely use and apply to this process. I'm running with the linebackers on Sunday, and then I'm just doing the DB workouts on the field on Monday. Yes, sir. Absolutely. It's a lot of unknowns. I don't know what all of those things are, but the bottom line is I'm a ball player, and I'm a hell of a ball player. And, I intend to run fast. I intend to look smooth, doing whatever it is that I'm asked to do. And, after a couple of interviews, I think these coaches pretty much know what they're going to get. I'm just going to keep improving, to the best of my ability, stay grounded, ignore all the outside noise. Nothing else matters to me besides what they think and, besides the way I play. Yeah. Just doing what I've been doing. Staying level-headed, staying 10 toes down, and just continue my work ethic. They can question whatever they want to question. They can't question my work ethic. And I think that's gonna take me a long way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, man, I don't worry about that at all. I control the controllables. I'm pretty much effective, wherever I'm going to be put. I don't have a lot of tape at safety, but I'm a pretty damn good safety. And, I think a lot of teams notice that. They have the tape. They ask me for tapes of, me playing corner, me playing some safety. And, but, ultimately, I hope a lot of questions are answered after this weekend. Yeah, a couple teams asked me about that. Not off the top of my head. I'm sorry. About those things, slot receiver, running back. Telling me I'm very dynamic with the ball in my hands. Things like that. Absolutely, they don't have to assume I will. I'm sorry. One question at a time, please. I definitely think the trend will continue. I definitely think there's, a lot more guys. It's just about, their coaching staffs letting them do things. But one thing I would recommend, just make sure, they stay on their technique. Don't rely on your athleticism a lot. I think that was one of my biggest flaws. But, I'm cleaning that up, and, it's all coming together for me. Free or strong. I'm very, very fast. I'm stronger than a typical DB, tougher than a typical DB. Since I played linebacker in the Big Ten at 200 pounds. So, that's anywhere from nickel. I can play some corner still. So, we're going to see. It's going to be a fun process. I plan to go sub 4.45. Yes, man. Just my defensive back technique. I hardly worked on it during the season. Because I was asked to fill a void at linebacker, so it was more inside run. 9-on-7. I couldn't participate in 1-on-1s and 7-on-7s as much as I could have. But it's all part of the process, man. I'm a winner. And that's what the team needed me to do, so that's what I did.
You played in some press coverage in the NFL as well?
Absolutely.
Have you met with the Buffalo Bills yet?
I believe so. I have, yes. It was a great experience. Every interview, was different in its own sense, but it's been pretty much the same. They're trying to figure you out, and it's just go in there and be yourself. Don't lie. And if you made mistakes on film, which they will bring up, just own it. Explain to them what you did wrong, and what you did to correct it, and what you're gonna do to make sure that mistake doesn't happen again.
How important is it for you to land with the right team, the kind of team that might be able to use your skill sets, do different things? Is it more important for you than for the next guy?
I wouldn't necessarily say so. I'm pretty quick at adapting and adjusting to any scheme. One of my biggest things about me is I'm very smart, and I'm very adequate at adapting to whatever the coaches ask me to do to my best ability. I only need to see things a couple times in order to have it down pat. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. I actually didn't know anything about him being pushed out, but my experiences from playing with him, he gave me great information. He was a great coach, and he made me tough. I came in there as a freshman, and I left when I transferred as a man, and I still use some of the tools he taught me to this day. I have met with the Jets, informally, but I don't think we've had a formal meeting yet. But I'll be excited wherever I land, man. Whoever decides to take a chance on me, I'll be more than grateful for it. you know, a lot of the comparisons that I've heard, you know, I haven't really been reading too much, but you know, I'm not a Deion Buchanan or anything like that, you know, or what's the other one, Miles Jack, or you know, Shaq was Thomas or something like that. Like those guys are, you know, extremely bigger than I am. So you know, I just tried to, you know, I used to model my game and still try to model my game after guys like, you know, the Earl Thomases and, you know, guys like that.
A couple more guys. NFL prospect would you be if you had played mostly offense in college? If you were here as a receiver or as a running back or something?
I'm an elite prospect.
You sound like you actually you pay attention to the game itself. You know,
Yes, sir.
you're a student of the game and watch other players.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have a model of how you model yourself after it all?
You know, like I said, you know, like the Earl Thomases and, you know, things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to figure out what works well for you and what doesn't. And, you know, I think, you know, throughout my career, I'll figure that out. It's just about, you know, applying the technique and trusting the technique, and just working on my craft. You know, I've really never had the ability to just, you know, really work on my craft. And now I do. And like I said, things are coming together very nicely for me.
Why the height discrepancy? Was that all Michigan's doing this year?
Well, out of high school, you know, everyone's bigger and taller than what they are. So, you know, I think they just kind of kept the listing from high school. You know, I didn't really care about it for real. You know, I'm a ball player regardless if I was 5'8". You know, it doesn't matter to me.